What's going on, everyone? Techme out here, and it's been a little bit since I've shown Android some love. So in this video, what I'm going to be showing you are the top apps that you can download currently for your Android device. So if you're excited about getting a little bit more Android coverage on this channel, let me know by hitting that like button down below, and I'll be sure to put out some more Android content. All right, so for the very first application, we have Grumpy Weather, and it is exactly what the name of it says. It's going to give you a widget on your home screen that gives you weather conditions in the most rudest way possible. I mean, almost like disrespectful rude. So I will go ahead and warn you that it does contain profanity, so if you find that offensive, this might not be the weather widget for you. But nonetheless, what you have here is the temperature, a symbol of the weather conditions, and then a description of the weather conditions over here, along with the day of the week, the time, and an option to refresh. If you tap on the widget one time, it will give you a 3-day forecast, and then tap on it again, and it takes you back to the weather conditions for the day. Now, you do have a few settings that you can configure for the widget, such as the option for it to automatically find where you are on the map or provide it with your location. You can also change how often it updates and if it's going to update when you unlock your phone. So basically, a few additional options to customize Grumpy Weather. Next up, I have Tappet. Now, this is a very nice wallpaper app. It's currently one of my favorites that I'm using right now because it gives you different pattern design wallpapers. So you can swipe right or left to alternate through your options. Now, if you find a wallpaper that you like, you can just hit the check mark to apply it. So if you want to go to the previous wallpaper you were looking at, you can just simply swipe down and it will go back to the wallpaper you previously looked at. Now, you do have a few additional options with Tappet that I like, such as the option to look at the patterns without having to swipe, or you can change the color scheme of the particular patterns in which you see. You can even see all of the wallpapers that you've saved. And if you want, you can hop into settings and change it so that every so often your wallpaper refreshes on its own. That way you can keep your wallpapers looking fresh and, in essence, keep your phone looking new. Next up, I have Sesame Edge, and I love this app. So basically, I just tap on the right hand side of my screen over here and it pulls up my most recently used applications. And I also have a keyboard here to easily search for anything on my phone. And Sesame Edge works in a way where it pretty much tries to get you where you need to go within 2 keystrokes. So if I wanted to go into my settings, I could type SE and it would start pulling up my settings. And also some things that I might want to go to within my settings. Now, let's say, for instance, I wanted to quickly get to all of my apps within settings. I can type in SE and then the letter A for apps, and it pulls up settings and then anything that starts within settings with an A, such as all apps. So I could just tap on that and instantly hop into where I need to go. You can also type in other things like Uber, and it will then pull in the information in which you need to catch the quickest Uber. Now, you do have some additional settings for Sesame Edge, such as if you want it to be turned on or off at all. You can also choose the option for it to activate via a home button long press, and you can change where it's positioned at on your screen and which apps you might want it to exclude from searching, in addition to pinning your favorite apps to appear when you do activate Sesame Edge. Next up, I have a game called Bako or Baka. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but I'm not sure if I am. So this game is pretty fun because it kind of follows under the concept of Tetris in terms of you don't want the letter blocks to fill up until it gets to the top, but in order to get rid of the letter blocks, you have to form a word. And you can form a word by simply tapping on the letters in which you want and then swiping on the word at the bottom to make it accept the word which you're giving it. So the word in which you create doesn't have to consist of letters that are actually near each other. The letters just have to exist within the board here of different blocks that you can use. So you can literally pick letters from all over the board to create a word. But I found it as one of those very challenging but yet relaxing games that's pretty nice to play when you want to kill time. Now, another app that's worth checking out is Notegraphy. So the nice thing about this is that it allows you to take the quotes in which you make and put them in a nice, clean, appealing format so that you can post it on social media. So sometimes, we have that quote that we want to share with the world, but you just don't want to per se type it in your notepad, screenshot it, and then post it to your social media. Instead, now you have this app which is easily going to let you type in what you want to say. So in this case, I'm going to type in hashtag Team TMO is the best. From here, what I can do is hit style, and then it's going to give me all these different styles that I can cycle through and choose which I want to use. But if I hit the down arrow, it's going to keep the style that I have, but just change the color of it. So you have tons, and I do mean tons of different options to go about sharing these quotes that we come up with. So I like the way this one looks. So if I were to hit publish, I then have a list of options that I could use to publish this for others to see. Coming in next, we have Black Hole, which is basically a lock screen. So I liked it, one, because of the wallpaper, and then two, because of this neat little animation you get when you're unlocking your phone. So sometimes it's the simple things, so do not judge me. But you have your time down here in the bottom left, the date and the battery over here in the bottom right. You have a option to quickly toggle on or off the flash. So you can see that right there, I turned it on. And then up here in the top left corner, if you have anything on your calendar or an alarm coming up, that would be displayed up here. But in my case, I have those options turned off. So I'm just going to swipe to unlock my phone and hop into the settings for Black Hole. So you do have the option to change the wallpaper if you so chose to, but in my case, I like the way the default one looks, so I didn't touch it. If you want to turn on any security options for your lock screen, you can do that as well. So these are just a few things you can do with Black Hole, but it's definitely a lock screen that I would say check out. Now, I tried not to give you two wallpaper apps in the same video, but this one here, Wally, is that good that I had to make an exception this time. And that's because the wallpapers up here are just so unique and they look absolutely beautiful. So these are user created wallpapers, and you have different categories such as the featured wallpapers, or you can see the popular wallpapers, or even the most recent ones that have been uploaded. So when you tap on one that interests you, you can either like it, or you can download it, or you can set it as your current wallpaper. Now, when you choose the selection to download a particular wallpaper, it's going to give you one of two options: to get a rectangle wallpaper or a square wallpaper. I always go for the rectangle ones, so I'm just going to hit download from here. I get this cute little animation as it's actually downloading, and then it is saved into my phone. Next up, I have a very stupid simple application called Jot, but it is so handy, especially when you have those scenarios when you just need to jot down something really quickly, such as when you're about to go pick up some food for you and your friends and you need to get everyone's order, into your phone. You don't want to have to send yourself a text or actually create a note. You just need to jot it down so that you don't forget what they requested. Those type of scenarios. Or maybe somebody told you something to check out. You don't need to per se save a note, but you just need somewhere to temporarily jot down something to remember. That is when this definitely comes in hand. It is a very simple interface, very clean and minimalistic. Not per se where I would save notes or something that I actually want to remember long term, but like something you don't want to forget to grab from the grocery store. That's when Jot is definitely the most beneficial. You do have the option to just use the app, or you can add a widget instead. Now, for my next application, I have another game for you called Skydance, and this particular app is so much fun, and the visuals and the graphics of it just add to the enjoyment of it. So it does remind me a bit of Temple Run, but actually a bit more enjoyable. So what you want to do is use the same concept like I was saying as Temple Run. You want to race down the course. To jump, you're going to press the left and right side together, but you do want to be mindful that when you jump, you're not just jumping over obstacles, but you're leaping from one stone to another. And the thing to keep in mind when you do that is that sometimes you might have to tap to the left of the screen to make him angle himself a bit more in the appropriate direction to actually land, or you might have to tap on the right side of the screen to land on the stone. You can also collect coins along the way and still jump over obstacles when they get in your way. But nonetheless, it's a pretty fun game with beautiful graphics that is certainly worth checking out. Now, another game that I love and I can't seem to get enough of because it's just so simple but yet so hard. So do not judge my best score because I'm trying, people. I'm trying. But I find that I'm holding my breath a lot on color switch. So how this game works is that you want to tap the screen to get the ball through the circle. But if your ball is a specific color, you want to make sure that when it goes through the circle that it matches the color on the circle. So if my ball is purple, then I want it to go through the purple part of the circle. Hopefully that makes sense. But you're trying to color match everything and work your way up the map. And as you can probably already see, like I said, my best score isn't the highest. I just can't seem to finesse this game the way I need to. So I'm not even going to issue a challenge and play myself by telling you to screenshot me your high scores, because I know your score is going to be higher than mine. Even though I kind of suck at this game, I really like it, and I think you all will too. But I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you, this is one of those games where you will find yourself saying one more round, or let me try again kind of thing. Like, you're going to have to possibly pry yourself away from it, or maybe that's just me. So yeah, I think that's going to sum up pretty much all the apps that I have for you in this particular video. But if you want a part 2, let me know by dropping a comment down below, as well as hitting that like button, and I'll give you just that. So I think it goes without saying to go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well, so you can stay updated on my content. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.